Folktale Week is amazing. It is organized every year by artists, especially illustrators, and they push you to create an artwork every day for a week. And because I hate myself, I'm going to do all of them in the same day. And this something has to be connected with a story, with a myth, with a folklore tale. And this is what makes it interesting, because all the drawings, all the artworks have a story related to them, which is fascinating. There are so many great artists, there are so many great styles, and I've been a very big fan of it, like, for years. But I'm a 3D artist, and in the 3D community, at least that I know, there's nothing like that. Only November, but that's a little bit more technical and more node-based. November. But I really like Folktale Week, so I decided to participate. But not only that, I'm going to do NPR, non-photorealistic renders. And if you don't know what it is, basically this image illustrates it. Now, my artwork usually looks like this, and I'm going to try to go with something totally different from what I create. So come with me. And this video is sponsored by Masha, my little Chihuahua dog, which always keeps me alive and happy when I'm sad. Lost. Okay, so first we have Hansel and Gretel. This is a story that I heard since I was a very young child, and these are two siblings who were abandoned in a forest. And they fall into the hands of a witch, which lives like in a gingerbread with a candy house. And at the end, the witch wants to eat them. So it's quite interesting. This is Blender. This is my weird version of Blender. It's a combination of a retro theme and Blender for artists. And I got this model from here. It's to help me just do it faster because I just had one day. So I wanted to cut corners as much as possible. And here you can see how I try to... I wanted them to be kind of be framed by the door as if they were approaching the house, so you would be seeing them through the eyes of the witch. So I tried to make a shadow to be like the shadow of the witch. I don't know if that ended up at the end, and I don't know if that at the end ended up looking good, but it was there in the initial idea. Now, I never really used anything Toon-like, maybe once, but I was really having fun trying to make the clothes. I was looking at a lot of references to see the colors, to see what they wore, tried to see the original, I think, German version. I just tried to add the most simple materials. It's just basic color with roughness. Then I tried to make the eyes, and I think those eyes turned out to be like very weird, kind of disturbing eyes. But I had to do it. I had no time. I wanted to just do something decent to keep going. I'd sculpted a little bit of their clothes, which is also fun. Then I tried to make some grease pencil hair, but I couldn't manage. It's the first time I ever used grease pencil, so I was new to it, and then I opted to make it from geometry. I added the hair and I added some lights, and then after that it was time to go to some processing, which is for me one of my favorite parts. And this is the results. Not too bad. And that was for the first day, Monday. Monday's over. Let's go to the next day, Tuesday. The second word is ink. And to be honest, I didn't know any folktale that had ink in it. I know that there must be a lot of Chinese folktales that have to do with ink, but I just didn't want to just keep hours searching. So I just thought, you know what? All the great authors used ink. Let's just portray that. Let's just have beautiful, simple picture with ink and a feather. And for this I used Kumikatse? I don't know how to pronounce it. It's great. If you want to do NPR renderings, this is the go-to add-on. I loved it. It just saved me in this thing that I'm doing. You can see I created like a crosshatch shader. Well, I didn't create it, I just basically added it. I tweaked it a little bit and it turned out to be very good. Looked quite stylistic. And then in the post-processing, I just added a frame. I added a little bit of a vignette, a nice frame, and it looked good. And that was over, and I really hated that one. So let's go to the third day. Now we go to the word see, and we go a little bit biblical in this one. A nice biblical scene that has been replicated in different movies and different folktales. And I really like it. It's just like, you know, the whale, the Leviathan eating something. And I wanted to go to a little bit more of a claymation style. I thought that I wouldn't be able to nail it because I thought I would need a lot of time to be able to sculpt the detail, to be able to come up with the textures. But there's a lot of clay shaders out there that you could use that just work great. So if you manage to get like the main details, probably you would be able to create convincing results. So you can see I just took the model from before and I just cut it. I just left the hand. I added some teeth. The lighting part was also fun. I added a little light inside the mouth in order to create some depth and some attention to the viewer. When you see it, you know, light always grabs attention. So that was fun. The texture for the ocean was my favorite. I really love those subtle blues. And I chose red at the end for the sea monster. I don't know, I really liked it. I think it was a little bit chaotic. I think I could work better on the composition, but I needed to move on. And for the first time doing claymation, I think it was actually pretty good. And now we are moving to the next one, sleep. And this one was my favorite. I don't know what with this one, but I just felt I connected with it, and the type of shaders that I used and the vibe that I had, it was just perfect. Like instead of trying to do Sleeping Beauty in, you know, in the bed or seeing the person itself, I tried to be a little bit more extracted from it. So I tried to make it like a kid's book, you know, like it's not obvious enough that it's Sleeping Beauty, but if you know the story, then you know how it makes sense. But I was really in love with the materials here, like the gradients and the subtle textures through the gradients was just awesome to work with. I also used a little bit of OCD to kind of create this natural destruction in the tower. But once I started with the colors, I just found I really, really love it. Like, honestly, this shader pack is awesome. And it's even better when you see it in a Windows XP Blender type UI. And once a few tweaks, then the final resort was great. I don't know if I would take away the Z's at the end, but I think they work. I don't know. You can tell me what you think in the comments. Next one. This was a little bit more experimental. I am not sure if I like it, but it's underground, and you know, without going too far away from folktales, I thought, well, the most famous thing that lives underground, maybe like traditionally, it's a demon, but the devil. So I thought I'd just, you know, making him there sitting in his throne. I was not quite sure what I wanted to do as a style. I thought about claymation too, but I really wanted to keep it different. I really wanted to have something unique in each piece. So I just thought I'll figure it out later. So I just started to pose it, to have a little bit of composition, but still I was very, very stressed because of the time. I was tired. So I just worked with basic shapes, and then I remeshed it, and then I created basic sculpting, which I am not very proud of, but I was like, okay, I think if I'm going to try to do like a pixel type style, then a lot of detail will be lost, and what will define the model at the end will be the shadows. So that's what I did. Created a little skull, you know, maybe a little bit more Hades like. Put some light. Then added some nice dithers. Scaled down and scaled up the view in the compositor. And there you go. There we have it. It's a very nice pixel demon. I also don't like this one very much, but it was necessary to do it. Now the next one is illusion. For illusion, I decided to do this Japanese yokai. His name is Kitsune. So basically this is a yokai that can bewitch people, and it has the ability to shapeshift into humans, into other forms, and they usually represented with a lot of tails, looks like a Pokemon. And I wanted to go to just a very simple kind of vector-like illustration. I didn't want to go very 3D-ish in this one. I just wanted to do something that I didn't do before, something new, something that pushed me a little bit, because as I said, I am not an expert in NPR, but I really had a lot of fun with it. And I wanted to add this white mask, but at the end I was not very convinced of how it looked. I needed more detail, but at the same time the piece didn't need more detail, so I had to work with what I had. And I decided to go back and just make it orange. And I really liked how it ended up. It's very unusual for what I do, but just going out of your comfort zone and entering these kind of folktale animals and creatures, very fun. Very, very fun. And this is the final piece. And for the 7th and last day, we have found. And to be honest, I was already exhausted. I couldn't do it. But you know what? Technically, we did achieve it. Because in the end, the last prompt, we found it in the friends we made along the way. And if you want to be one of those friends, you can like and subscribe. It would really help me to keep doing these weird videos that I hope you like. And I'll see you again next time. Bye.
World so full of noise and buzz, there's a little chihuahua named Masha. She's got big eyes and a heart so bright, bringing hope to the world day and night. Oh yeah, with her tiny paws and wagging tail. Masha, Masha, the little sunshine, spreading joy with her love so fine. Through the fields and the city streets, she dances to the folk.